Welcome to Artfest Online event. Got a bit of a few minute late start today. I can't always imagine what can go wrong in one of these things, but today my computer mouse decided to die 2 minutes before we were supposed to start. So anyway, I found my other mouse. There we go. So yeah, so here we are, day 8. It's hard to believe we've done 8 days of this show, and it's been just so much fun, and I've really had an amazing experience. And thanks so much for joining us and going on this journey with us for something new and launching our first time doing this. As you know, our events are canceled for the May show and our upcoming show in Kingston on Canada Day weekend. So we're developing new ideas and new platforms so we can showcase the artists and our entertainers and engage people that wanted to be there that can't. So this is the start of it. So we're going to be going forward with weekly events. Just let you know the dates. We're just still trying to figure out when the best day would be for that. And our Facebook is a little bit behind today too. We can't seem to get on there right now with our live show. So we've got it queued up and just waiting for us for people to sign in to be able they can watch on Facebook. So as you know, you can imagine that Artfest is well, I don't know if you can imagine, but Artfest is a growing company, and we have do 4 events right now, and we started a Christmas show last year. So it takes a lot of people to run Artfest right now. With myself, I'm the one who coordinates things. I'm the president of Artfest Ontario. So I facilitate everything and everybody. And we have a core team that works with me every day in Artfest. That's Al and Marianne and myself and Pam. So you haven't met Pam yet either. So the 4 of us work every day in Artfest, and then when we have the events, then that's when our whole team gets together, and they come from all over the province really, and have all kinds of different backgrounds and skills. So we have a team of about I guess it's about 18 of us all together that get together at the shows. And you know, Steve and Melanie and Joe and his team with Johnny and Steve, and Calvin and Sherry and Jill and Neil and Jeremy and Brendan and Bruce and Simon and Arthur and Caden and Vanessa and Kim and of course Ian and Sherry. I mean, all of those people are just amazing, and I just wanted to let you know that there's a lot of people behind Artfest and what goes on. So and that it takes a huge team to be able to coordinate these events. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and it's a finely tuned machine that we have with our team in the background. So one of our members is Shelley Hannah, I mentioned. Just going to bring her, share our screen here. I can bring up Shelley here because Shelley is one of our team members, an interesting character, and has her own business. I want to share you one of the things that one of our team members does. It's pretty neat. And it's quite unique. So I'm just going to get this up here and share you a little bit about Shelley's adventure that she's doing. Hang on. Here we go. Hi there.
Hi.
So welcome to the Artfest Online chat. So we're interviewing artists here at Artfest, and today we have a special guest, Shelley Hannah, and she's not only an artist, but she's also a good friend of mine, and she's also one of the Artfest team members. And so, as I mentioned before, Artfest team members do lots of things in their lives, and Shelley's got a fantastic project that she's working on, and I wanted to share it with you because it's right up the alley of what Artfest likes to do. So welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, that's great. So Shelley, right off the bat, tell us, what are love notes?
Well, love notes are colorful little scrolls that each have a little note that acknowledges something special about a person. And there's a little bit of magic tied in there too. They have an uncanny way of landing in just the right person's hands.
Okay, so yeah, that is kind of magical. I actually know what a love note is, and they do, it's very magical because you get Shelley hands you one of her love notes when we're about to start something, and it just says the right thing. I don't know how that happens, but it does. So yeah, so how did the love notes come about?
Well, they began as personal notes just for family and friends, particularly around Christmas time or birthdays. I would just make a little batch of notes about things that I particularly loved about those people. Friends and families would slip them into cards or make a little box of something and hand them over. And at one point, one of the friends that got a little collection of them said that they reminded her of little scrolls that she used to have like years ago. And that's when they became scrolls. But long before they were scrolls, they were just little folded pieces of paper that were all handwritten. And they went beyond family and friends one time when I just thought to have a bunch of random ones there for a gathering and for a potluck dinner as an example. And they just took off. They were really fun. And like you said, nothing to do with me. They just had this uncanny magical way of landing in the right hands. So they wound up growing a little bit further out past me too when I held this kind of a boring job of being a shuttle bus driver for Blue Mountain one winter. And I just thought, oh, how can I make this job me? And so that's what I did. I started making them by the tons, and I'd hand them out to the different people who get on the bus. So that kind of went into the wider community. And at some point, a friend just said, hey, can I have some to take to a Rotary dinner, a Rotary function? And that was the first sale that I had. And from there, people just started to ask, and it just kind of grew from there. So that's where they started.
Yeah, they also almost reminds you of when when you're a kid and you're in the classroom and the teacher's back is turned and you write a little note, or you fold it up and you kind of flick it over to your friend's table.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. So, with this business that you start, it's basically it started as a fun thing, but it seems it's turned into a business. And so, how do you feel about, how has that changed your life? How do love notes change your life?
Well, I would say they've changed my life in a couple of ways. One is I share those love notes myself a lot. Like I like to carry them on me and find myself drawn to people who I think could use a little smile or a little pick me up. And, sometimes it's people I know, but sometimes it's also people that I don't know. And as an example, I was on the TTC subway one time, and there was this small group of, I think, 4 or 5 young teens, multi-ethnic boys. And I just found myself drawn to them. And I really appreciated how kind and nice they were to one another, like different from other teen boys I'd witnessed or experienced. And they happened to sit right next to me. So I just pulled out my little bag of love notes and offered them each one. And oh my gosh, like one after the other, like they were just like, oh my God, that's so you, dude. And one guy in particular must have told me about 4 times, like, I so needed to hear this today. And so I wound up handing off the last of that little bag of 25 off to him and his buddies and just said, okay, they're up to you to now share with others that you come across. And so they just have this sweet little way of brightening people's day. And so they've changed my life that way in terms of personal use. And in terms of the business end of things, more recently, they've employed more than just me. Like it had just been me for about 7 or so years, rolling them, sometimes coercing my family into helping me when I had large orders. But more recently, you yourself, Lory, put me onto a woman in Collingwood who runs a program for adults with special needs. And that had long been a thought. Like for a number of years now, I've had a thought of asking around to find out who would like to get into that, or who would enjoy doing monotonous, repetitive kind of things like are required by rolling the love notes, and who has trouble making a little bit of money in our world. And so I'll say, much to my surprise, like the 3 that showed up for training one day in February, or I guess it was early March, just before all this thing happened, learned to roll love notes. And I have been moved and surprised by how keen they are. Like it's been an effort to keep ahead of them. And it feels now like we have a team of us that are creating these little notes that are spreading love wide and far now.
Well, that's great. And your team has really joined you in a big way lately with this, you know, I mean, we're all doing things we never did before because of the situation with the COVID virus. And all of a sudden, you know, your team has figured out a way to give back to the community and have been involved in a big way. So tell me a little bit about that, how that adventure.
So yeah, just inspired by the way that so many people in our country and around the world really have been moved to appreciate and acknowledge and show our love for the frontline workers. We too pulled together and decided that we were going to just sprinkle love on all of Collingwood's frontline workers. And so that's what we did. And we went around to more than 25 different locations and spread more than 1,500 love notes around. And it was just a joy and a pleasure both to go as a team, and we got dressed up with kind of wacky glasses and party hats and things like that, donned our masks, and we had one of those little emergency shovels that I keep in the back of my car that we would put the love notes in and hand them so that we could still maintain our 6-foot safety distance to the people we were handing them to. But yeah, they were really well received by, you know, people in hospitals, the police, fire department, paramedics, but also grocery stores, dollar stores, gas stations, postal people. Like, it just felt like every day that we went out, I'm like, oh, I miss those guys. So yeah, it went on for a full week, and I realized that there's still one group of people that we still need to get notes to. But yeah, more than 1,500 notes.
It's so wonderful. I mean, what a great idea. I mean, this is something that, and this is in the spirit of what Love Notes really are about, is helping people and acknowledging and giving people a little boost, which I'm sure these people that are working hard right now, you know, long hours, making sure that, and all new to them too, all these new systems and protocols and that they're having to deal with the stores and the retail level, like really tough time for them, but I'm sure that you made their day. So people can buy your love notes, right? So where do you find your love notes? If you want something to share and sprinkle some love around the world.
Great. So love notes come in bags of 25 or 50 or in bulk. So 500 or more, any number. Like I think the greatest number so far that's gone out has been a total of I think about 7,000. So yeah, they can be bought if you're local to Collingwood. In Creemore, there's 2 stores in Creemore, the 100 Mile store and the kids store, Cardboard Castles sell them, and in Collingwood, One Love sells them. And other than that, you can get them from my website, which is makingadifferancetogether.ca. All one big long word. And
that's great. Well, we'll share that website, Shell. And thanks for telling us that story. And Shelley's, you know, one of our Artfest team members, and I'm so proud of her. And also, I mean, this goes to show me that, you know, all of our team members have got such amazing stories and do amazing things outside of Artfest. So it's great to share that. Shell has one more thing she wants us to share with us.
Just want to share as well that beyond sharing them with almost anyone in our family and friends and public, there's also in the last couple of years, I looked at customize them. So either with a business or organization's website on the back, or there's actually one Artfest artist who commissioned me to create custom colored love notes. So Bella Gray, the jeweler, passed me her logo and asked if I could match them. So there's in the pictures that you'll show, I believe, there'll be an example of those. So yeah, so they can also be used as kind of a replacement for business cards. So lots of different uses for them.
Yeah, I mean, or, you know, if you're in a restaurant, instead of getting a mint, so give them a love note.
Absolutely. And Lots of businesses also just hand them out. Like in when I first came out with them, lots of stores and the art gallery in Creemore used to hand them out to every customer just as a little special touch to their for their customers. So absolutely, there's lots of different uses.
That's what makes it creates memories. It makes it memorable.
Absolutely.
People remember you if you give them a love note. Trust me.
And it's not unusual. Actually, a number of of our Artfest artists, every now and again I'll wander by with a little bag, and it's not uncommon for someone to say, "Oh my gosh, I still have that very first love note you gave me," and they'll pull it out of their, like the underneath of their money tin or something like that. It just, yeah, they do often land in a way that really is meaningful to people, to the point where they'll keep them, stick them away in a wallet, or stick them on their bathroom mirror just to remind themselves of that aspect of themselves that's special and that the universe has noticed.
And what a simple way to give it forward, pay it forward, show your love. I mean, it's such a simple thing, a little note, but it just has such impact. And thanks so much, Shell. That's great.
Yeah.
So Shelley Hannah from Artfest Ontario. She works for us and is one of our team members. And her love notes are available at makingadifferencetogether.com. And you can find her link. .ca. .ca. So I always get these things mixed up. .ca, makingadifference.ca. Thanks, Shelley.
Makingadifferencetogether.ca.
Makingadifferencetogether.ca. Got it right there. Thanks so much, Shelley, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
There we have it. So that was Shelley Hannah from Artfest Ontario. Thanks, Shell, for that. And we've had a lot of fun with those love notes over time, as you can imagine. And they've kind of become part of our, thanks to Shelley, part of our family too. So I thought we'd just skip quickly over to the kids activity. Just gonna get that set up over here. All my screens are doing funny things today. It's just one of those weird days, I think. Window, nope. There we go. Just a sec here. Gonna move my, boy, today we're having trouble today anyways. All right, let me just see here. How are we gonna do this? I move my screen over to my other computer. Otherwise I won't be able to show you anything. I don't know why this is going on today. It's always the last day, right? Things go weird. I'll see if I can get this to go on this screen here. Artfest Kids. Hope you can see me okay here today. Everything's going fine, sort of. All right. Hang on here. Get my Zoom. Jeez. I've lost my Zoom window too. And can't seem to get it back. Can't close anything down. Wait a sec here. There we go, maybe. Aha, sorry about that. All right, here we go. Maybe let's get this going here. The Zoom, get the kids thing up here. Lots of weird things going on today in the technology area. We will get it right. There's kids. And I'll get the rest of these things all going here. One more second here. Sorry about this, folks. Share my screen and start it up. So this is how to do select drawing. There we go, it's Artfest Kids. So we've been doing those every day and hope to have a lot more of those up for our Kingston show too. And I know that Sabrina is going to be creating some more of them, I hope, because she's had a lot of fun doing it and it's been another great experience for her. This is all great material that we can use for all kinds of things. So just going to go over to talk about one of our favorite exhibitors, Devine Jewellery. So I've known Carol and Tracy for many, many years, and they've done many, many Artfest shows, and they're a favorite for sure. So I've got a little video clip here of them. And we're just going to take you over here to show you that. I hope you enjoy this. This is the Devine Jewellery Studio just outside of Ottawa, Ontario. This is where they make all the magic happen.
And the partner.
And that's Tracy and Carol there at Artfest Toronto at the Distillery District last year. There you go. We were supposed to be there. They make beautiful handcrafted jewelry. Fine jewelry, gold and silver, beautiful gemstones, an amazing job. And they have a huge following at Artfest. Lots of people collect their work and come down and see them every year at the show. And they're a real class act. They're one of our favorite exhibitors as well. And a beautiful display. They're amazing customer service. They're so great with the public. They always look fantastic. They always wear fabulous clothes and dress up and have a lot of fun too. So they're just like kind of mixed with Artfest. This is all part of their new collection that they were just got ready for the spring with little tiny eardrops. Huge variety of colors and stones available. They're available on their website. Don't forget to shop online. You can't be issued right now. So. Yeah, so you can actually see them also on our website. If you go to artfestontario.com, under the Toronto tab, you can see May exhibitors and go to their blog, and you can see read about them here. see some more. There are items. There's a whole story here about Ted and Carol. Ted passed away last year, but Jake, their son, has taken over. You saw Jake in the little video there, and you can go to their website. A direct link from our Artfest Ontario website to shop there. So I hope you can do that. That's Devine Jewellery, one of our favorite exhibitors. So I've been having a lot of fun doing these interviews over the last week, and more artists have been contacting me now. They actually see what we're doing and can see what we're up to. And they're saying, hey, you know, can I have an interview with you? And that's another area where I'm working as a host to improve, and I'll get better. But I've had a great learning experience this week trying to get all this stuff figured out. And the next thing that's on my agenda is to learn how to do editing, so I can get good at that. So, which I need to do if I'm going to be doing this kind of thing. So I had a great chat yesterday with one of our leather artists, Gary Saunders from Goo Leather. And Gary's been I've known Gary for years and years and years. Been at the One of a Kind show initially and watched him evolve as an artist. And he's got a special year this year. So I'm just going to share you my interview with Gary. I'll just get queued up here and let you see for yourself what Gary's up to. Hi, Gary. How are you?
I'm fine, I think. Pandemic and all.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on with our Artfest Online live show today. It's a pleasure to have you here. Today I have Gary Saunders here from Goo Central, and he's a leather artist. And Gary and I have known each other for many years, and he lives in near Montreal. And he's been part of the Artfest family for quite a while. So welcome to our show, and I thought we'd have a little chat today about what you're up to and see what we can share with our viewers.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, so this is a special year for you, Gary, year 2020. What's going on?
Well, I'm just in mid-September finishing my 50th year of living on my art and craftsmanship, and just got started.
So it's your 50th anniversary.
Yep, in middle of September.
That's amazing. That's quite a feat. And, you know, that's not easy to do as an artist. Sometimes we have to switch to other things. But you've been dedicated to your leather work for your entire life.
Yes, I moved from Toronto to Old Montreal in 1970. I was 17 and I moved with $5 and I had to make it work immediately.
Yeah, well, you've done an amazing job. What I've been marveling at, because I've actually been watching you for years developing your craft, and it's always been quite amazing to me that, you know, when we first met, I guess it was one thing. Then the next thing I see you've added this other net technique, and you've evolved incredibly, and you've even actually, you were mentioning earlier, developed some incredible techniques that are unique to you. So, how do you what types of leather techniques are you using? And can you tell us a little bit about what's involved in that?
Well, I'll start with the basic, which is different than all other leather work. When I moved into Old Montreal, we had this thing about oiling and preparing the leather. And one of the most important things was the preparation of the materials prior to assembly. It's something that most people overlook, but it has a history in harness making. Like, for instance, if you take the best leather you can get and you make 2 saddles, and one you hand oil and hand work. The hand working is the important part before assembly. Only one horse can cross the river all day without destroying the saddle. So the one that hasn't been hand oiled won't last through water and a whole bunch of things. So I apply this hand oiling technique to all the leather I do for belts and the veg tan hides. And when I'm not using the veg tan hides, I'm using different conditioners and everything. And the idea is to bring out the best quality of each piece, because you can actually tell where the animal lived, its terrain, and what it ate if you get deeply into the leather. A cow that goes up hills and mountains has tougher skins, so use it for another project. Probably ate a lot of berries. The one that goes in a flat field has a nice cushy hide because it's just walking around eating grass.
Wow, who would have thought that? It's amazing. So some of the techniques you use, that was the beginning, how you start, but then you you have techniques that you've developed for assembling and carving, and a new technique you developed with using dyes for art, for illustrations.
Yes, well, in my first year, I did a belt that took forever, and it had a whole story all along the belt. And I said, even in 1970 prices, I'd have to sell it for $300, so no one would buy them. So through my career, I was always wanting to do story and picture belts with just about everything, but make it in a way that people could actually buy it. So what I'm also a stone sculptor, which I jump into and out. You know, right now I still have 3,000 pounds of stone. I realized that if I went back to primitive techniques and sculpted into stone, wood. I sculpt in 20 different materials. They all sculpt differently. They all print differently. Then I make my own leather dyes, because the dyes that exist don't do what I want. And the ingredients for my dyes is probably longer than the dictionary. And then I print between 5 and 25 layers. And I registered, it's called sculpt print. And I want dyes to mix, and I want them to reject each other. And that's what makes the wearable art on my bags and on my belts. And all of them have to stand up to oil, because I hand oil and seal every piece. If it doesn't stand up to the oil, I don't use it as an ingredient.
Okay, wow, that's a complex process. And I know you actually even carve leather to make some of your designs. Is that?
Yeah, I do the classic carving, but not classic Western design. At the moment, my most complex project is I'm working with an 84-year-old Belgian cabinet maker. His name is Etienne van der Becken. He's a genius, and he's probably one of the best in the world. So we're making him a travel bag case, which is a combination of wood and leather. He's carved the two sides and incorporated the bottom in mahogany. I'm making the rest of the bag out of Argentinian cowhide, which I've carved into leather, the two sides of his family heritage. And I'm making the principle of the bag out of buffalo that was hand tanned and hand de-haired by the Apache Indians in New Mexico. And it's the best buffalo in the world. The only way to get it is to go to New Mexico and buy it from the Apaches, if they have it.
Yeah, wow, that's a story. That's a unique product. How much would something like that cost for that?
Well, this one is priceless, because we haven't stopped adding. We're adding some bear claw from the Mohawks, and then I'm sculpting wooden pegs for the front, because he finds my grinder wooden pegs are up to all his cabinet making. So this one, my travel bags generally go from about 1,000 to 3,000. This one will definitely probably pass the 6,000, but I'm giving it to him.
Well,
because he's a nice guy.
He's your neighbor, right?
Yeah, he's my neighbor. He's 84, and he's in shape like someone about 50.
So that's wonderful. Yeah, so I know, like, I've seen you at the shows. I remember at one point I fell in love with your dyes, like your painted dyes. I don't call them painting, but they're
I spit on the idea of paint because it comes off leather.
Painted, but it's beautiful. And I mean, I know you can order custom items for you, because I ordered a custom bag from you because I wanted certain things. And as a woman, I know, for example, I like to have a pocket for my cell phone somewhere, and I like to have this for change, and I like to have stuff, and I like straps a certain way and a certain length. So people can order custom bags. Are all your pieces custom, Gary, or do you?
I got to a show, and even though I have a full booth with, probably 20 different categories, in my booth is only 5% of what I do. So at least 50% of all the shows I do end up being custom orders, anywhere from bags, belts, to travel bags, to custom jackets. The coats take about 150 hours. And for instance, I just got one from an artist. She took care of her old mother, and now her shoulders are full of arthritis, so she needs a really light bag. So I ask a person, what side do you carry it, so I can put the buckle in the front? What colors do you like? So every single piece I do is custom adjusted or custom made for the person, or they can choose what I already have.
Yeah, well, that's a great service to offer, and it makes it really special. I know myself, like, it's a special bag I'll have for the rest of my life. So I love it.
Well, it's meant to do that, because if leather conditioned and prepared properly, paying attention to the dye, the oils, and everything, it should last longer than it would if it was on the animal's hide. And most of my pieces will end up being heirlooms. There's no reason why even belts can be heirlooms. You can have like the equivalent of grandpa's belt and go on to the next, and it can be the same leather, but if it's not prepared, they last half as long.
So it's really has a lot to do with it's like the original, like the very beginning and the first steps of preparing the leather properly.
Yes, it's a dyeing, the preparing is a dyeing art, but it's very physical, because if I'm making my strongest belt, which is made out of bull toro hide, it's as stiff as wood. And if just I use my hands and arms, I would wear out my joint. So I have to create a physical pose that goes right to my abdomen, or else I would have destroyed my joints by now. So my neck has gone from 14 inches to 19 inches from oiling leather.
You're very strong. So are your products guaranteed for life then? Because it must be so tough. Like people.
My people ask. I have two bags, my own personal bags. One I made when I was 19, the other when I was 20. So they're like 48 and 47 years, and I stopped counting 500 times. People offer me twice the price if they could buy the old one. So my pieces get better with age instead of wearing out. They have a long wear-in period before they even start wearing out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I know that you've been impacted by the things going on right now too with sales. And like right now, where is it a good place to buy your work right now for people online?
Well, I'm going to be joining the Artfest Online because it is like outstanding. And I'm giving all the first place trophies to you for starting it. This is hopefully the first of a boat in an armada, and all the shows should do it, and we should all join together. And like I was saying before, this is the beginning of masquerades at the shows. We're going to be proud to wear masks. Yeah,
I like that idea. It's very, very creative. Yeah, so I know that we're going to put up links on Gary's on our store, and also that he's also on Facebook under GU. It's GU, and then creation, and I'll put that link up for people too. So
it's a new spelling of creation, just because no one else was being creative about the word creation. KREA .SHUN. If you shun the norm, you're being creative.
That's great. Yeah, so I know you make bags and coats and clothing and belts, all kinds of things, purses, travel bags. And anything else? And pouches. And what else am I missing here?
Well, I'm putting out, I've got some small zipper pouches for valuables, jewelry, whatever. But I'm going to be putting out I'm just researching right now a pouch where you can put your mask.
Ah.
And your gloves. Because we might need to use them for a whole long time.
Yeah, gloves. Good plan. So we're all decked out for the art festivals and protected.
So I get together with a person and I find out what their taste is, what sort of life they have. If a person's really difficult on a belt, I choose it from the center to the back of the animal, so it's the hardest to wear out. If someone likes to wear it loose and like it soft, we go to the side of the animal. And then I go to person's color preferences, and yes, I can design directions. And there will also be an endangered species series too.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. I even see even your clothing pieces that you use. I see you use horn, and you have all kinds of things in your pieces that you use that you incorporate.
Yeah. I use a lot of the materials that are hard to get now, either from the Caribbean or from the ocean or from animals. I get some bear claw from the Mohawk Indians to go well with the Apache buffalo, and I carve into wood. The list is too long.
Yeah.
But I use a lot, and I'm inspired by the customer. It's sort of a partnership in what inspires me, and I try to sort of touch on base and bring something up and say, "Well, turquoise go well with you," and they say, "How do you know?" Or they'll say something, and I ask people if they like the sun or the moon better or equal, and that gives a base of energy for a carving for them.
Amazing detail in your work, Gary. Thank you so much for being with us today. I know we and I could probably talk for about 3 hours about your business. There's lots of information there, so rich.
Have I missed out on anything that you need to know?
Well, I think for now we'll go and we'll follow up with a second interview, and we can talk about more things. And thanks so much for joining us today and being part of the Artfest Online event. I'm Lory MacDonald from Artfest Ontario, and you'll be able to find Gary's work on there in the next couple of days under our new Artfest store. And thanks, Gary, and have a great day.
And thank you for winning the first prize on presentation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gary. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go. That was my interview with Gary Saunders. What a true craftsman he is. I guess that's, when you work in a one genre for your entire life, you know it so well and you learn so many things. So that's a great example of somebody who's really dedicated their life to his craft, and it has amazing results. So thanks for that, Gary. So we're gonna go next to another special guest. I have to skip around a little bit quickly today because we've got a bit of time left, not too much, but and I might go over a little bit because we started late. So I'm gonna pick out here, find my interviews. Hang on for a second. Let's get this up. Still haven't been able to get onto Facebook yet, unfortunately. But we'll try to do that. We'll upload our recording, because everything we're doing is recorded, so you'll be able to see it again, or if you missed part of it. I'm sure you're busy today and can't watch every single minute of what I'm talking about here, but if you want to see anything again, we're going to put up the recordings on our website, artfestontario.com, and make them available. And I'll add some descriptions in there too, so if you can try to pinpoint who it was you're interested in listening to and hearing more about. So I'm just going to start this up. This is a craft that has disappeared basically for years. I'm not going to tell you what it is, maybe you can guess, and is back in a big way. So here I am interview with Sheila from BDAWG Designs. So I'm just going to share my screen here and see what you think of this.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us today on the Artfest Online chat. So
happy to be here.
So happy you're here too. There's been lots going on here, and we're like, enjoying sharing the stories from the artists and talking to them about and doing these interviews. So it's been really, really informative, and people that shows them have been loving it. So yeah, so you're working in a craft that's been has had a big comeback recently, macrame.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so and your company's called BDAWG.
Yep.
And so tell me, what is macrame?
It's basically the art of knots. Different types of knots turned into different patterns, and you can make many things with it. Wall hangings, planters. I'm currently working on a lampshade for a customer right now. I've done rugs, dream catchers, you name it. It's pretty much a very versatile art form. And it's very calming as well.
Yeah, I saw that. So what led you to be exploring macrame?
Well, I was off of work for about a year. I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, depression, and PTSD. And yeah, it was quite a lot. Very traumatic year that I went through. And I am currently living in my in-laws' basement. for multiple reasons, mainly because my father-in-law is fighting cancer, and we wanted to come and help out as much as we could. And I have a whole bunch of plants, and because I live in the basement, I have one window. So it all started with me needing to hang my plants in front of this one window that I had. And then I discovered how calming and soothing it was while I was trying to make these planters, and I just became addicted to it. It keeps me out of my head, so my thoughts aren't taking over, and it's just been very soothing. Yeah, it's been a journey, but it's one that I'm glad that I'm on.
Yeah, it was delightful to see macrame back out in the craft shows, I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm a huge macrame fan. I was a macrame addict myself in the 70s. Believe it or not. In fact, I still have some of my pieces here. I just love macrame. So much fun making it. It's very relaxing and enjoyable.
Yeah.
But tricky. It's not easy. Yeah, I can't. It's tricky. All those knots and those patterns. I mean, remember all those how-to books that we used to have? That the back of them, right? I mean, I don't know where they are now. They're gone, right? But I really like what you're doing, and I was so happy to see your application come in when you applied. So also, I mean, your designs have inspired a lot of brides lately.
Yeah, the bridal scene is quite like that rustic boho thing is super trendy right now. And I actually started looking into vendoring shows for wedding shows, but they're so expensive, so it's a little out of my price point. But yeah, like I've done bridal wraps for around the bouquets. I'm planning on working on making a backdrop for rentals as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be a larger piece.
Yeah, it would be quite large.
How wide would that end have to be?
I would at least 6 feet, I would say.
Yeah, you probably have to be about 10 feet.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a plan for the summer.
Yeah, so I see like most of the materials that you use in the photos you sent they're a white kind of cording material. What is that?
Yeah, it's an all natural cotton. It's a single strand spin, so it means that there's no twists in it. It's just like one fiber that's twisted together. It's really soft. It's organic. My supplier gets it from Turkey. It's just a very environmentally friendly cord. So it'll biodegrade. And it's just got a really lovely soft texture to it.
Well, how wide is it's not like string though. Is it sort of a heavy?
No. Yeah, it's macrame cording. And I work mostly with 3mm. But for larger projects, work with 5mm.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so I also, I mean, do you ever incorporate other materials into your pieces?
Yeah, I just finished a custom order for a nursery with a wall hanging, and we put in a little wooden cutout of a cow skull. Because it's for a little boy and she wanted it to be very boho rustic. So we incorporated that, and then some feathers as well. I often use embroidery hoops for my base. And then there's the one side of it that's got the little metal screwy thing on it. So I'll use artificial flowers to hide that. Trying to find a more friendly source for that, but trying to keep costs down, obviously, as well. So it's a little tricky sometimes trying to be environmentally friendly for everything. But
very natural look. Like they look like they use a lot of natural materials. It just really lends itself well to that. They're just lovely. Yeah. So what other kinds of things are you making? You mentioned you're doing, I saw lots of wall hangings and planters. What other kind of things are you making with macrame?
Like I said, I'm working on a lampshade right now. Actually, I've got it right here if you want to see it quickly. Hang on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now. I've done a rug, I've done shelves, I've done a mirror. Oh gosh, lots of stuff. Mostly it's wall hangings and planters, but when a customer asks if I can make something special, I never say no. I love the challenge of trying to figure out how to make something for somebody.
Yeah, so it really lends itself well for custom orders too, right? I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So how are you selling your work right now? Like, what's going on with it, with a lot of events being canceled? How are you selling your work?
Yeah. Oh, with the events, I miss going to those shows so much. The community of being surrounded by artists and people who support artists. It's such a lovely thing. So I really miss that. But I had an Etsy store for a while, but it wasn't taking off very well. So I actually just closed it a couple months ago. Most of my sales, believe it or not, is on Marketplace.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the best place for people to find you. Plus, I mean, if people come to our website, which artfestontario.com, we have a nice profile of you up there. And so what's the best way for people to order? Could they order right through the Marketplace, or they can, I guess, they can contact me and I can put them in touch with you?
Well, I have a Facebook page as well.
You do? Okay. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So they can send a message through that, or through my Instagram.
Okay. All right. We'll put those links up for you when we do this interview, and that way people can link right through to your store and have a look around and see what you got going there. So I think I remember one time when I was when I just started doing macrame, I actually macrameed myself a bikini.
Oh wow. Nice.
I remember back then, I mean, it didn't have like we didn't have the soft cottony. It was really kind of scratchy.
Yeah, like that polyester. Yeah.
An experiment didn't work very well, but yeah, so that's great. So yeah, it's great to have you, be part of Artfest, and I'm really excited to see how you're going to grow as an artist and see what you're going to be able to bring to the table in the future. So we're looking forward to having you in the show. Maybe, who knows, maybe in September the show will run and we'll be able to have you there and get to see when you're in touch with things. Your things are very touchy, and you need to touch macrame.
Yeah, it's very tactile, and I love it when people come into my booths and just touch everything. And then the ones who are too afraid to, I tell them, I'm like, you can touch it, it's okay.
Well, do you do any workshops at all? Are you planning on thinking?
I'm planning to. I was actually planning on doing one at the end of June, but then COVID, happened. But it's definitely something I'm looking into for the future, for sure.
Yeah, I think I know we had a macrame artist do a little workshop at our Kingston event last year.
Oh, nice.
Weekend. We made a little planter. Huge. People loved it. It was really, it was an easy project and got people just started on the concept and the ideas of basic knots. I think you're going to do really well with those workshops. I really think you're heading the right direction. The how-to books are great, but I think people like the experience of working in a group with their friends, and it's fun, like that, a lot of fun. So I think you're going to really do well with those. So
thanks.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on the show today. It was really delightful to meet you and chat and find out all about macrame from BDAWG. And one more quick question: Where do you live? Where are you from?
I live just outside of Toronto, in a little town called Bowmanville.
Bowmanville, right? Okay, another artist from Bowmanville. Super. All right. Thanks, Sheila. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Here we go. So that was a fun interview with Sheila, and I'm looking forward to seeing her things in person for sure. So just going to show you, I was trying to get this screen finally on the right spot. Here we go. And I'm just going to take you over to the Artfest website one more time here. And I want to show you, because Sheila's, you can go to her Facebook page, and like she said, on Marketplace as well. Whoops, sorry, looks like I didn't. There we go. Hang on. Jeez. Here we go. Back over to Facebook. There we go. Over on Marketplace here, so you can shop there for her items. And she does a lot of custom work too. Great for weddings, like she says. So super. So I'm gonna stop this for a sec here. Yeah, so we've had so much fun this weekend. Like I said, and lots of people involved. Thanks so much for being part of it and watching and sharing with your friends. I really appreciate it, and also all the support I've had for getting this launched. We will be back every week. I'll keep in touch about what days that might be and what time. We're going to take some. Actually, maybe I'll just launch this right now. I've got a poll here. Yesterday we did it with all our listeners. I'm gonna launch it again. Ask the question: what day would be best for you for the show if we when we go forward, and what time of day? So I'm just gonna launch this poll. There's 2 questions, and then let you chime in to see what your thoughts are, and then that will help us inform us on what the best time to do. So I've got a few more minutes here, sort of. I mean, we're a little bit over time now, but I'm gonna sneak a few more minutes in, a couple more minutes, just to show you what I've been talking about the whole time here, which is the Artfest website, where you can shop on Artfest. So on the Artfest website, artfest.com, our online event, featured artists are under the Shop Artist tab. You can see there's everybody there that was featured, and has actually a website on our website within our website, and we're adding Gary in there with Goose Leather. He'll be up there hopefully in a couple days. And then in Toronto, if you go under the May exhibitors, it's where all the artists that were going to be in our show this year are located. So you can see everybody here. And there's lots of specials on. Everybody's got deals on right now for the online event. I'm pretty sure that some of them will carry on with that. And don't forget, Joe Feek has got a Father's Day special on right now for 25% off of men's Hawaiian shirts. Dirk's got a special on right now for the gourmet Manitoulin jams and sauces, especially with our Artfest special chili pineapple piece. I know that there's free shipping options for everybody's got something going on here. You can buy jewelry, clothing. So I encourage you to go and explore the Artfest Ontario website. There's lots of stuff on there, and the kids programs there too. You can download those, and you can watch those videos anytime you want, and lots of fun things there. So one of the other artists I wanted to just mention a little bit about, Earth to Body. Earth to Body does body care products, and they use a number of ingredients, but everything is completely natural. And I love their website, because this is the Artfest blog here. You can see a lot of things on here too. They have a ton of products that they offer. Another example of an artist and an artisan that's developed their product over years with new ideas and new things. So if you go to their website, Earth to Body, they always do a May show. Have been doing it for a long time, and they know they really miss their customers. They've got an amazing website with all kinds of great news and blog posts. They keep it up to date. They're always posting things. You can read articles about, taking care of your skin and the health things, the 7 reasons why what you should be aware of when you're using skin products, and why their products make a difference in the world. So I encourage you to check out Earth to Body, because they're one of another Artfest favorites that has a huge, huge following. And I'm going to sneak in one more artist over here. On here, Blake Richardson, Earth to Art. Now I've another example of an artist I've known for many, many years, but Blake's shop right now is actually not open. But I want you to keep him in mind for the future, because He's a very, very special individual. So he does amazing things. So if you, I just going to look here. If you look at that beautiful landscape, but if you look in the sky, if you can really look in the sky and see that up, he imagines, he gets inspired by things like, you know, looking like up at clouds. I remember when I was a kid, I used to lie on the ground and all of a sudden notice, oh my God, look at that. That looks like a horse, or that looks like an eagle, or, and so this is where what inspires him. So you can see in the clouds, he's got bears and birds and all kinds of animals up. And all of his pieces are like that. Here, you know, it's a forest. There's all kinds of little things hidden in here. You've got little chipmunks, and you've got birds, and you've got a bear back here. And it's really fun to go in and look at his work and try and find all the magical things that are in there. They're peppered all the way through his pieces. Here in this piece here, landscape photograph, looks gorgeous. But look over here, look at, there's a swan. And I'm sure there's many, many more things in there that I didn't even find. And then he takes his pieces, he makes the characters, and he embeds them in a beautiful wood setting. He's also got beautiful art that he does with his pictures. You can order prints. So please remember Blake Richardson, Earth Art. He's another one of my favorite artists that I've known for a long while. He was going to be at the May show, and really miss him. So to keep him in mind for the future. And I'm going to sneak in one more. We got one more minute. Okay, one more minute here. I'm just going to sneak in one more if I can find the artist here. Another one, sort of along the same lines. I love this work here. Very playful, you know, with the goose. It's a guitar and its baby little ukuleles. The woodpecker is drilling holes, and they're all little carpenters. And the owls that are got all the fungus going on, the fungi, and then here's the rooster with little butterflies coming off its feathers. It's just delightful, delightful work. And that's C.M. Duffy. So he's another great illustrator, storyteller, and visual artist that is part of the Artfest group. Stop my share here. So yeah, so thanks so much for coming on with us again. And it's been so delightful to be able to talk to you about the artists. And truly, we've only, you know, touched the tip of the iceberg. There's so many artists in Ontario that are just phenomenal. And many of them are part of the Artfest family. Like I say, they do our shows. But there's lots of other ones out there. And as our show goes and develops, it'll be fun to explore what other artists are doing, have people come in as guests and show me what they're up to, and we're happy to share that and promote artists. And remember that, you know, right now artists, we need to empower them by shopping online, buying their products. If you have any questions, please contact them, contact me, and we'll get that sorted out if you're not comfortable shopping like that. But that's nothing makes an artist happier, like I've said every day, than getting an online order. So I'm Lory MacDonald from Artfest Ontario. This has been the online spring event, and get ready for a weekly show, and coming up for our summer show at Artfest Kingston. We'll have a 4-day special event for that too. So take care. Thanks. Bye.